Dolan, he was a meddler, and we've seen this with the Dallas Cowboys, the vanity of Jerry Jones. When Jerry didn't have a great say with Jimmy Johnson, they were winning Super Bowls. When Jimmy got pushback from Bill Parcells, they rebuilt this puppy. But then Jerry hires coaches that need him, that wouldn't get head coaching opportunities elsewhere. Mike McCarthy was on the beach. Chan Gailey, solid coaches, probably they feel like they owe Jerry. And then Jerry can, again, use the hammer and his power and be the de facto general manager, and that's not what he should be or he's capable of being. He's not that guy. And it's why I think they tend to overpay the wrong players, overpay early, and miss on some draft picks. I think the Cowboys can win games in a wonky division and a weaker NFC. I don't believe they'd be a consistent playoff team in the AFC. Right? That's my take, is that it helps that they're in a division with poorly run Washington and New York and a little up and down Philadelphia. That helps. Put them in a division, over there with the Bengals and maybe the Ravens and the Steelers, and now Cleveland's loaded. I don't think they'd be a playoff team. But this story is worrisome because the last 2 years, James Dolan has been very busy. He's a music guy. He's in a band, loves music, building the Sphere. It's been about a 5-year project, but the last 2 or 3 until it was finalized, James Dolan was sidetracked. And the Knicks front office was excellent. Excellent at drafting, acquisition, player development with Tibbs and the guys in the front office. This story is very concerning. The Sphere is finished. And now James Dolan, now he's back to the Knicks. According to The Athletic's Fred Katz on the Knicks Film School podcast, Dolan loves the Knicks' Julius Randle. He's a huge, quote, huge Julius Randle fan. He loves Randle. He loves that Randle chose Dolan and New York. He loves his game. Oh, boy. The Knicks had success this year after Randle got hurt. He doesn't space the floor because he can't shoot. He's an so-so defender, and he stops the ball offensively. He just doesn't share very well on a very unselfish team. Isaiah Hartenstein, actually a true center who can defend other centers, was a much better fit. Randle can't. He's a tiny 5. He has value. He can score. He's productive. But he doesn't work for this team, which often starts 4 guards. They need a true center. That was Hartenstein. And why I said after the Paul George move, the other move in free agency that really caught my eye was the center, the big, going to Oklahoma City. I'm not sure it's going to help OKC as much as it potentially hurts the Knicks. When Randle left the team, ball movement was better. Spacing was better. Offensive rebounding was better. The ball didn't stop. They were better and tougher defensively. I'm not anti-Julius Randle. I defended him for years. There's room for Julius Randle in this league. But as a max guy on this team would be an organizational clogging decision. He fits somewhere. It's not New York. So I'm just saying, sometimes Jimmy Johnson told me years ago that the reason Jerry Jones didn't interfere the first couple of years in Dallas, because Jerry wedged himself in as an owner. He had to make the money back. He didn't have a lot of extra money. Jerry was hustling for 2 to 3 years on the operational side, on the other side of the building. So Jerry Jones was too distracted and creating and driving the Cowboy business on the other side of the building. Once he got that humming, he then wanted to go over to the other side of the building where Jimmy Johnson had built a dynasty. And there the problems ensued. So sometimes having an owner who's potentially disruptive, distracted. He's got another project. He's got a new girlfriend. He's got a new yacht. He's got a new business. James Dolan, I got no problem with him owning the team. The Sphere, caught his attention. He didn't distract. He didn't meddle. And the last 2 years have been run by like grown-ups. They made really good decisions. This one would worry me. Quote, James Dolan loves Julius Randle. Loves that he chose New York. Oh, boy. J-Mac with the news. No. Track. We'll start the show talking about the misuse of power, not the abuse of power. I don't think it rises to abuse, but it's arguably misuse. So Jaylen Brown doubled down on his Nike theory, which is the reason he is not on the Olympic basketball team is because of Nike. I think he's right. It should be noted, he's the best player in the league, not on the team. He's not a Nike guy. Kyrie Irving's the second best player in the league, not on the team. He got dropped by Nike in 2022. I don't think it's a coincidence. Nike right now has a leadership issue, and I was in Beaverton, Oregon this weekend going to the zoo, not Nike, in Portland. They butchered the Major League Baseball jerseys. It's as bad a gaffe as I've ever seen in my life on jerseys by a sports apparel company. And Nike usually gets it right. Their stock is down 33% in 6 months. Phil Knight is now 86. He's a visionary and a brilliant man, but he acknowledges he is all in on Oregon football, winning them a natty in the NIL. And now they have the Olympic mess. It feels like there's a leadership issue as Phil Knight ages. This happens all the time in corporate America. There has always been this very tricky dance by Nike and sports apparel companies. You want to use the velvet hammer, not the sledgehammer. You have massive power in college and professional sports. You don't want to abuse it. And I don't think this rises to abuse of power. It's the Olympics. It gets political. It was political, MJ and Isaiah Thomas. But it does feel like an overstep, an overreach by Nike. Jaylen Brown not being on the team is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The finals of the MVP of the finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. He's a tremendous basketball player. Nike, a misuse of power. The second misuse of power we have seen this week, LeBron James and Clutch Sports. They engineered Bronny getting drafted with the number 55 pick. Now, it was a terrible draft, and anybody drafted there was going to be a G leaguer at best. But Bronny offensively doesn't even look like a G leaguer. It's been embarrassing. He's 0 for 14 on threes. He was bad again last night. Now, I do think athletically he can be a defender in this league. Maybe. But he would not have been drafted if not for LeBron James and Clutch Sports. In a good draft, can't draft him. This team, the Lakers, can't really waste draft picks. But they do need on-ball defenders. They're old in spots, expensive in others. He's cheap and can defend. That I don't deny. But in both the case of Nike and the case of LeBron James, they had power. Power can corrupt. Men tend to flex. Anytime they have power, they use it, misuse it, or abuse it. This classifies as misusing it. And this is the classic dad, the classic parent trying to muscle his kid to get a job that he didn't really earn and kind of getting in the way the natural flow of life. Usurping somebody, getting power, jamming a kid in. You know how many times I've been asked, hey, can you get my son, my daughter a job at blankety blank blank? And my answer is always, I can get him an internship maybe. I can't get him a job. They're not qualified. It hurts. It's painful. It's the truth. So both Nike, Clutch Sports, and LeBron had leverage. And in my opinion, this is the downside to it. Bronny's been sort of embarrassing so far. Now, the Lakers are in a position where the new coach, J.J. Redick, now has to go to the microphone and tap dance to make sure he says all the right things about Bronny.
He's a development player. That's how we're looking at Bronny. He's certainly going to spend time with the Lakers. He will spend time as well in the G League. we're going to develop his shot. We'll develop his ball skills. He's already got a great feel. He has a really good instinctive nature on the defensive end.
Okay, that's a good way of saying he can't shoot. Be careful when you accumulate power, how you use it. Just because you have it, sometimes it's best to let the natural flow of business work. Just let things play out as they would without your power. So I have joked, kind of, sort of, not really, that I do think if I didn't do this for the living, the broadcasting thing, and I would have spent the last 30 years trying to be an NFL executive, not broadcasting, I just started going toward the NFL, I think I'd be a pretty good executive. I know I would not have drafted Jamarcus Russell, Johnny Manziel, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Tim Tebow in the first round. I would have drafted Sam Darnold, though, and he may still have something. But one of the reasons I think this is I hear things all the time around the NFL, and it sounds like they're coming from unserious people. Here's the latest. An NFL executive rips Josh Allen, one of the more overrated players, makes a lot of mistakes. Oh, good God. Somebody seriously said that. So I have a theory on life. Would you ever tell your kids in life, hey, Johnny, hey, Susie, play it safe. Don't make mistakes. Don't take any big swings. And if you do make a mistake, punish yourself. Life's about being perfect. No, it's not. Life's about being a playmaker.